We left off with a journalist in hiding, a mysterious USB drive in her hand, a note taped to it. Part of the truth will cost you everything. Tonight, she's opening it. The encrypted video call begins. Only 3 people are on it: the journalist, a cybersecurity expert, and a retired FBI agent who's been tracking the Dawson case off the books. She inserts the drive. The screen flickers. A black background appears. Then, a single video file. It's titled, "Do Not Show This." She clicks. The footage is grainy, shot from a hidden camera. It's the Dawson family, alive, in what looks like a tropical compound. Armed guards patrol the perimeter. Mark is sitting at a table, signing papers. Linda is holding the kids, now teenagers, close. Then a shadow steps into frame. Ethan Cole. He speaks directly to someone off camera. His voice is calm, cold. "You're getting what you paid for. They'll never be found unless you want them to be." The camera shifts, and here's the shock. The person he's speaking to is wearing an FBI badge. The retired agent leans forward. "That badge, I know him." He names a high-ranking official, still active, still in power. Someone who's worked on witness protection, deep cover operations, and international black sites. This isn't just a disappearance. It's an operation. The next clip is worse. It shows a massive shipping crate being loaded onto a cargo ship. Spray painted on the side, medical equipment. But inside, stacked steel cages. Some empty, some not. One cage has the initials MD scratched into the metal. Mark Dawson. The cybersecurity expert pauses the video. He warns, "This isn't just about the Dawsons. This is a trafficking network. Governments, private firms, cartels, all in bed together." Suddenly, the journalist's screen glitches. The video freezes. A message flashes across her laptop. "Connection terminated. Location detected." The retired FBI agent shouts for her to pull the plug, but it's too late. Through her webcam, they hear loud banging at her door, voices shouting her name. Then, silence. She's gone. The call cuts. The file self-deletes from both their systems. The only thing that remains is a single corrupted image. A blurred photo of what looks like a map with 3 red X's. One in the Philippines, one in Alaska, one in a small, unnamed island in the Pacific. The retired agent believes these are holding sites, places where vanished people are kept until they're moved or erased completely. If that's true, the Dawsons could be on any of them, or already gone. 2 days later, the cybersecurity expert receives an unmarked envelope. Inside, a single Polaroid photo. It's Linda Dawson. She's holding today's newspaper. Her eyes are wide, almost pleading. And in the corner of the photo, barely visible, are the words, 72 hours. That's the deadline. They have 3 days to find the Dawsons, or lose them forever. The retired agent says he knows a pilot willing to take them to the first red X. But there's a problem. The island is controlled by a private security force that answers to no government. If they go, they may not come back. And here's where the final twist hits. The night before they leave, the retired agent gets a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end is whispering, "It's Mark Dawson. Don't come looking for us. If you do, we all die. This is bigger than you think." Then, gunshots. The line goes dead. Now the question is this: was that call a warning or a trap to stop the rescue before it begins? Either way, the clock is ticking, and in 72 hours, the Dawsons might disappear forever. The countdown had begun. 72 hours. That's all the time they had to find the Dawsons before whatever was coming. The retired agent, the cybersecurity expert, and a small pilot crew met under cover of night at a private airstrip. Rain hammered the tarmac. The hum of the twin-prop plane filled the air. No passports, no flight plan. This was strictly off the books. As they climbed into the sky, the agent laid it out. The first red X, an island in the Philippines, wasn't on any tourist maps. Officially, it was a research station. In reality, it was run by a private security firm known for protecting assets no one wanted found. And if the Dawsons were there, getting them out would be near impossible. By dawn, the island came into view. Lush jungle, ringed by white sand beaches. But the beauty ended there. From the air they could see high walls, guard towers, armed patrols along the shoreline. The agent pointed to a break in the trees near the northern cove. "That's our entry point." They landed on a neighboring island and switched to a small fishing boat. As they neared the shore, the sound of waves was drowned by the buzz of drones overhead. Eyes downward, they're scanning for faces. The boat slid into the cove, hidden by mangroves. From there, it was on foot. The heat was suffocating. The air smelled of salt and diesel. Half a mile inland, they spotted the first sign of the compound, a chain-link fence topped with razor wire. Beyond it, a row of low concrete buildings, and in the courtyard, children playing. One of them, a boy about 16, looked up. The agent froze. It was the Dawson boy. The expert started forward, but the agent grabbed his arm. "Not yet. We need a plan." They watched from the brush as guards in black uniforms herded the children back inside. Every movement was controlled, every smile forced. The agent whispered the rescue steps. They'd wait until nightfall, cut through the fence, get in, grab the Dawsons, get out by sea before dawn. Simple, on paper. Night came fast. The jungle came alive with the sound of insects. The compound, lit by harsh floodlights, looked even more like a prison. The agent crept forward, cutters in hand. One snip, two snips, the fence gave way. They slipped inside. They reached the first building, a dorm-style barrack. Inside, cots lined the walls, sleeping figures under thin blankets. The agent lifted a flashlight. Linda Dawson's face came into view. Her eyes opened. Recognition flashed, then fear. "Mark's not here," she whispered. "They took him to the other island." Before they could react, a blinding light flooded the room. Shouts, the sound of boots pounding on concrete. Guards. The expert dove for the window. The agent grabbed Linda's arm. "Where are your kids?" "They're here, but you have to move now." They sprinted down the hall, yanking open doors. Two teenagers stumbled out. The Dawson kids. The boy clutched a small satchel. The girl's face was streaked with tears. The agent shoved them toward the breach in the fence. Gunfire cracked in the night. Bullets tore through the sheet metal walls. They made it to the trees. The expert stayed behind to cut a second escape hole. The bolt was waiting, but it was too far to run under fire. That's when Linda spoke again. "There's a tunnel. Mark built it, under the laundry shed." The agent's eyes widened. "Do you mean he planned this?"
She didn't answer. They doubled back toward the shed, bullets chasing them. The door was locked. One kick, two kicks, it splintered open. Inside, under a pile of dirty sheets, a hatch. The tunnel was narrow, dark, reeking of damp earth. The sound of shouting above faded as they crawled forward. Finally, a grate ahead. Beyond it, moonlight and the sound of waves. They pushed through, spilling out onto the beach. The boat was there, the engine already running. The kids clambered in. Linda followed. The agent was last to board when a shadow emerged from the tree line. Ethan Cole stood there, calm as ever, hands behind his back. "You can leave, but understand, Mark..."
Turn it on. The screen lit up with a single message. Final location, 17 degrees, 45 minutes north, 179 degrees, 15 minutes west. The expert's jaw dropped. That's Wake Island, military-controlled, middle of the Pacific. Getting there in time would be nearly impossible, but they had no choice. By dawn, they'd secured a small cargo plane from a sympathetic pilot willing to take the risk. The flight was long, too long. As the plane droned over endless ocean, Linda told the truth. Mark had known for months they were in danger. The fraud case against Stephen Raines wasn't the real threat. It was what Mark found inside the company books. A money trail linking a multinational corporation, cartel money laundering, and secret offshore detention sites. They wanted us gone before we could testify, but killing us would have been too messy, so they gave us to Ethan Cole to make us disappear permanently. The agent clenched his fists. Then we bring Mark back, and we burn the whole thing down. They reached Wake Island with just 10 hours left. No way to land on the base without alerting security. So they parachuted in at night, 3 dark figures dropping into the surf. The agent led the way through the jungle, the expert scanning for heat signatures. 200 yards inland, the compound appeared, floodlit, ringed with razor wire, patrolled by armed men. In a storage building on the far side, the scanner picked up one human signature. Stationary. That had to be Mark. But reaching him meant crossing an open yard crawling with guards. The agent looked at Linda. "You stay here with the kids. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, take the boat and go." They moved like shadows, every step timed between the sweep of searchlights. At the building's side door, the expert jammed a portable lock breaker into the panel. It clicked open. Inside, Mark Dawson. Bearded, gaunt, but alive. The moment he saw the agent, his voice cracked. "You found them. Linda, the kids. They're safe, for now, but we need to move." They cut the ropes. Mark staggered, but the agent steadied him. "We have to go quiet, no alarms." But fate had other plans. As they slipped out the back, a guard rounded the corner. Shouts erupted. The compound exploded into chaos, sirens blaring, boots pounding on gravel. The sprint to the shoreline was a blur, bullets slicing the air, shouts closing in. They hit the beach where Linda waited, eyes wide. The boat roared to life, but as they pulled away from shore, a searchlight found them. Gunfire tore into the water. Mark grabbed the sat phone from the bag, yanking out wires. "It's how they're tracking us." He hurled it into the sea. The boat raced into open water, the island shrinking behind them. But they weren't safe yet. On the horizon, 2 fast patrol boats closing in. The agent reached into a hidden compartment, pulling out a flare gun. He fired into the night sky, a signal. Moments later, headlights. A larger vessel emerged from the dark, a fishing trawler flown with no flag, a friendly contact. They leapt on board, leaving the patrol boats in their wake. For hours, no one spoke. Only when the sun rose did Mark break the silence. "It's not over. I have files, names, accounts, everything. We can end them." The agent looked at him. "And if you do, they'll come again." Mark's gaze hardened. "Let them. I'm done running." 2 weeks later, the Dawson stood on U.S. soil.
In a secure, undisclosed location, Mark handed over evidence to a small circle of federal prosecutors outside the corrupted chain of command. The documents confirmed everything: secret detentions, trafficking routes, money trails to some of the most powerful names in politics and business. The fallout was immediate: arrests, resignations, international outrage. And Stephen Rains, the man who took the fall, was quietly released, his record wiped. The Dawsons entered a legitimate witness protection program this time, one that didn't have Ethan Cole pulling the strings. And Ethan vanished. No one knows if he's alive or if he's just waiting for his next job. The agent visited the Dawsons one last time before disappearing himself. Mark shook his hand. "You didn't just save us, you gave us our lives back." The agent nodded. "Just promise me one thing: never disappear again." Linda smiled faintly. "We've had enough of that to last a lifetime." The family that disappeared was finally free. But somewhere out there, in the shadows, the machinery that almost erased them is still running. And those who run it never forget a name. If you were hooked by this story and want more real-life true crime cases just as gripping, hit that follow button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications, because some of the most unbelievable cases are still unsolved.